Hello and welcome. In this video, we're reviewing a Diamond McCree on Hollywood. I've never seen this VOD before, so I'll be commenting in real time. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Oh no, what happened to the quality? It just took a dip. That's not nice. Okay. Working on that shield, that's cool.
Nice.
Nice Vandal.
Oh, okay. Actually, it looked a little too high. Let me see. Were you at the right distance? Let's see. Distance was good. It just a little bit too high, I think. No, distance was not. Well, if it had been lower, it would have gone farther. So maybe you could have been a little bit closer and a little bit lower, but eh.
Sense low, got him.
Okay, so you guys crushed them. That's good. Oh my god. Oh, okay. That's cool. Skip ahead. Not gonna comment on that. We all miss sometimes. It happens. So actually right here, during this downtime, this whole downtime, oh, but to be okay, so it would have been nice for you to get high ground with your Genji, but it is solo queue, and I'm not sure. I haven't been paying attention if you're in the comms or anything. As a team, it's nice for you to get this high ground, right? Of this building up here. But again, you and Genji doing that alone is a little bit dangerous. No, it's very dangerous. So I don't blame you for not getting it. And it looks like they might have been going for it. Yeah. So that's okay. Okay, just a side note. Let's go back, sir. All right. Good, you're pressing. I like this. You're prodding, poking and prodding the enemy. That's good. So right here, you go for this punch on this railing to break it. In a vacuum, that's not bad, but you give away your position. If it's actually right there. Oh, and he actually goes on the haystack. Let's kind of remember this position. He's kind of by this door here. Oh yeah, you had perfect. You could have shot. Where was he? Like right here ish. Yeah. If you just waited here, 2 headshots on that McCree, boom, that Deadeye's gone. Instead, you give away your position to break the railings, which, yeah, the railings are annoying, and yeah, you want to get them because you might hit them, but you can also shoot in between, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Oh, okay, that was dangerous. Do I like that? No, I don't really like that. I don't like that you try to do that. Let's see that again. So I see what you were trying to do. You're trying to flashbang him. But again, there's the shield there. I guess you weren't thinking about the shield, and maybe you didn't think he would drop down. But actually, you saw him drop down, did you not? Let me see this. Yeah, right there. So just a bit careless from you, I think. Like, you could have just wait out the Deadeye. Like, your team probably wasn't going to die to it. They had shield to rely on, and probably LOS to hide behind. Environment to hide behind to block LOS. Nice shooting. Yeah, the Mercy. Nice. Okay, this Deadeye. If look at the kill feed, you got 3 kills. Is there any more? And the res is gone. Well, the Mercy's gone. Yeah, this is a really silly Deadeye. Obviously, sometimes in the moment you want to just like go and just win the fight. But you guys had already committed Earth Shatter, and I don't recall if you burned anything else. I think that's it. But it's really important that as a player that you're very careful with your ultimate usage, because you always want to have. You want to keep your ultimate advantage over your opponent for as long as possible for that big fight. Nice. And that's just important. Okay, let's see that again. Nice. I think you... Actually, let me go back again. Let me turn up the volume for this because I want to hear the footsteps. I don't think... I didn't hear anything. I heard Reinhardt's footsteps. I'm not sure if I heard McCree's, but maybe you heard it. Maybe I'm not hearing it. Maybe because yeah. Anyways, cool. So I think plays like that, they can be high risk, high reward. Again, if we go back to that Deadeye play, you could have just been, you know, on this building, this one right here, and just been up there, just, you know, putting pressure with left clicks and you know, potentially put out a Deadeye. Yeah, I would like to see a play like that. This, what you're doing here, is a little bit risky. Well, it's very risky. It paid off, sure, and you played it smart, very intelligently, because you didn't. Oh, wait, what? Right, he's right there. Oh, so did you see him? Interesting, yeah, interesting. Maybe you saw him. I didn't know that you saw him. Quality's not so great, to be fair. Right there. I'm not sure if you saw him, but obviously in game you have hopefully 144 FPS. Actually, I can see that you have 148. So obviously, and quality's much better, so you're gonna see things that is much harder for me to see in the VOD. So actually, maybe you saw him, and therefore you made this decision, but he probably also saw you. So again, this is actually quite risky, because you know you guys could potentially flashbang each other, trade some left clicks, and then before you know it, he dies, but then maybe you die too, or maybe you just die and he doesn't die. Yeah, but anyways, I would have liked to see you just, you know, keep that Deadeye earlier, play the high ground, put pressure that way. It's safe. It's not flashy, but it wins games. Cool. Yeah. Yes. Push this side. Good. 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 Push your advantage. Push your advantage. Wait. What are you doing? No. Go. 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 Oh. Let me see that again. So you tunneled a bit on here. You kind of disrespected this McCree. That being said, and I think you missed this last shot. Did you miss it? Oh, dang, just barely, too. That looked like a hit to me. Yeah, whatever. Lag. You have 20 ping, though. Anyways, well, whatever. Yeah, so this should have been a kill, to be fair. Boom. Was that a... Yeah, that was a headshot from McCree. So... I don't mind this, because let's kind of contrast that to the play that just happened earlier. Actually, sorry, hold on 1 second. I spat onto my monitor. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, so let's contrast those two plays. Earlier, you made the play to go for that McCree, but you hadn't secured the point yet, so you were in risk of getting stuck at at the very end of point 2, which is, I don't have to tell you, which is a dangerous place to be, right? Because yeah, well, whatever. I'm sure as a diamond player, you know that that's the case. Whereas here, you just secured the point, so you're in a very safe place. You're in a position where you can be a little bit risky and make those aggressive plays to keep to make that snowball even bigger. And so by dying here, you don't lose that much momentum. But you can gain a lot by creating that snowball to be even bigger. Sorry, to push to make that snowball bigger. So that's kind of why, you know, I feel that play was actually warranted and was totally valid, whereas the previous one not so much. And you almost killed Zen. But to be fair though, so here, right here, you could probably start using this rock here as cover. Instead, you kind of just greed for this kill. So, but again, I don't mind you going for this play. I think it's totally valid given the context of the situation. So I don't want to harp on this too much. But you could have played a little better with this rock. Because here's the thing, is that if we look at where Zen is, he is in the middle of nowhere. He is not going to be in range of cover like anytime soon, regardless of where he goes. So you can think about it in that context and be like, okay, well, I can shoot him and use this rock a little bit and, you know, play with them, stretch out the opponents, make them focus on me while my teammates start attacking them, because you got time. Your team has so much time to kill these guys, so you can play it a little bit slow. So, you know, just something to think about. You don't have to necessarily just go and go for the kills. You can kind of play it smart, wear them down. You got one shot, and after you get that second one, you can kind of play with this rock a little bit and play it safe. Again, that being said, I don't mind you going for this high risk, in my opinion, low risk, high reward play because, again, you have a snowball, so you can kind of play with it a little bit. All right.
Back in the saddle again.
Peace be upon you.
Can you target Zed at the start of the fight? So I can play?
As McCree, I kind of prefer to be on this left side. So, this like room over here, because that allows you to either decide to push forward here or to wrap around and go into the high ground. Excuse me. By being here, you're kind of like restricted in terms of your options. So I'm not a huge fan of you being in this corner. Yeah, it's not horrible.
Can you target Zed at the start of the fight? So I can play?
Ooh, got a little close there. Nice.
Nice.
Okay, so right here, you want to close out cleanly, because if you don't close this out cleanly, you will, you're in danger of not, of kind of losing, because this is kind of the point where the momentum either ends the game or you lose all your momentum. Well, we're like, yeah, actually, no, that's it. You lose pretty much all of it. So you got these two quick kills. I like that you're showing restraint versus this McCree. You didn't just like go in, and you're being quite disciplined. So kudos to you. That's very excellent. Let's kind of watch this kind of again. So you don't have both of your cooldowns. I love this. This is what separates, you know, diamonds from, you know, golds and platinums. You don't have combat roll or flashbang, so you're much more restrained in fighting this McCree. Showing a lot of respect. Awesome. It looks like you dodged that flashbang, right? Is that a flashbang? Pretty sure that was a flashbang. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Then you go back in. Let's see what you do. You go back out again. That's fine. You had to wait for the you were being cautious about the bubble. I think that's fine. Although I think it was about to expire, but cool. You get the kill again. The Deadeye, it looks like you just Deadeyed. This is perfect here. This is great.
Nice.
This is good. This is good. You can close this. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I believe. Nice. Oh, come on, team. Okay, yeah, good. That was excellent play. Yeah, was there anything I wanted to comment on about that? I just wanted to give you praise for showing restraint against that McCree. That Deadeye was great. You were trying to just close out the game there. That was perfectly valid use of Deadeye, as opposed to the other one, which I thought was kind of a waste. Just because you guys had already won that fight. That was on Street's face. Cool. So far your play's been stellar. I think I only have time to maybe watch like one more, maybe like your point A defense. Because I think you said there's like a round 2 to this, but I don't have time. I think you said you wanted me to watch that, but I definitely do not have time for that, so sorry about that. So let's just watch this first point A. Oh! And is there anything to learn from this? Well, well, you're probably gonna get rezzed, right? I think you have a mercy. Yeah, you do have a mercy. Cool. I don't really like. No, but see, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. No, I can see teams who like to do stuff like this. I'm trying to give you advice to make sure that that kind of thing with Widow doesn't happen. The one thing I will say is that I'm actually kind of surprised that were you standing still? Let's see. Yeah, you kind of were. Let's see it again. And I can't see, its quality is not so great. Yeah, so the one thing I will say is you don't really want to be standing still like ever in Overwatch. It's one of those things where you just kind of almost always want to be 80 strafing sporadically. So that's kind of all I think I have to say about that. Because this position, as we just saw, she had a pretty, like, you were like right here, and she had pretty good line of sight from there. So maybe the lesson to be learned here is if, well, but see, the thing is, this is kind of what I'm struggling with. I personally don't like McCree on this island here. I think some people call it Gatorade. I like to play Cafe, or like buy Cafe as McCree, and I typically don't like teams to play up on the choke in general for Hollywood. So that would be my general advice. But I think some teams like to play aggressively on chokes, and I think that's fine. So for those people, I suppose then what I would recommend then is, for if you're going to play like a McCree or a Soldier, probably play it closer to this side, to where you have more time to react and anticipate a Widow coming from that ledge. Because from right here, as we just saw, she can actually shoot you from like that car on the ground floor. Whereas I'm pretty sure if you're over here, she has to get onto that ledge, in which case you'll probably hear her grapple. And then you can, you know, move or get out of the way or do whatever you want to do at that point. So it's enough about that. Oh, let me turn the volume back on.
Maker.
The quality is really taking a dip right now, but I would have liked to see a quick flashbang in response to that swift strike. The quality's so bad that I can't quite tell exactly where he is. Let me try again. Okay, so I think this is one of those situations where, if as McCree, you should be skilled enough to where after a Genji swift strikes like that, you can get a quick flashbang like on the ground or above him or to the sides of him, and then go for that easy. Depending on his health, you might go for like a headshot, but almost certainly the more secure kill is just the fan the hammer. So I'm a little sad you didn't do that. But to be fair, sometimes you want to exercise restraint and be cautious about. Some Genjis will follow up like that with like a really quick deflect, and then you might stun your whole team and you guys get wiped. So if you're not confident in your skills to do that, to land that flashbang perfectly, then I don't mind you holding on to that flashbang. So there's two sides of that coin. But but really good McCree player will nail that flashbang pretty consistently.
Window
You actually go for it. It's slow though.
Window maker.
So really, it's actually kind of funny because, yeah, I don't really mind this at all. Just, I think the way your team was positioning and the way you were positioning, but I think you were only there because your team was up there. Like, they were holding chokes, so you wanted to play that on that island, and I can't really fault you for that. That being said, you probably shouldn't have been standing still or that far to the left on island like we talked about. So if it wasn't for that, you guys probably do better on that defense, because then your Mercy has res for like an actual, death instead of your death, which was like a pick that should not have happened. So cool. Playing Reinhardt shielding, that's fine. I would actually prefer you to be on high ground. Use that elevator that's to your right and probably poke from there. That being said, being behind Reinhardt shield's not a bad thing, so this is cool. Okay, but this is not behind Reinhardt's shield, so this I do not like. There's not a whole lot of reason to do this kind of poking on this haystack. Actually, I'll leave it at that. There are times when it's okay to kind of bait and poke out of Reinhardt's shield. In this situation, actually, am I okay with that? No, not really. Oh, actually, Actually, well, this isn't nearly an important enough topic to talk about during a VOD review, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I'm just gonna say this: there are times where it's cool to poke out, like away from outside of Reinhardt's shield, to kind of that accomplishes a few things. namely making sure that he can put his shield down to like regenerate it and make sure that the shield doesn't take so much damage, and it can kind of alleviate pressure from other teammates. So in this particular case, I'm not quite sure if that was the right call, but it's not a horrible thing to do. So leave it at that. Nice shooting. Oh, okay. Let me see that again. Because I would like to see you flashbang kind of more towards the ground in order to get the mercy. Okay, so when you see that mercy, I'm pretty sure you're going for that mercy. Maybe you were going for the Zen. But when that mercy's coming at you at an angle like that, when you flashbang forward, the way flashbang works is, I believe, I'm like 99% sure, if it hits someone, it will stop and you know, stun that person along its path. Or if it's like a wall, you know, early, it'll blow up there. However, if you miss, and in this case you did, because I think you're going for the mercy, like you were reacting to it, it actually passes her, and then she doesn't get stunned. So in cases like this, as soon as you see her, you kind of want to like angle it down a bit to make sure, because when you're flashbanging, you're almost never trying to like hit the person with the flashbang. You're almost always trying to just put it in the vicinity of them so that they get flashbang. So in this case, because she was coming straight at you like that, you kind of angle it down a bit, and then you're much more likely to hit that flashbang because she's coming like into you, like right past you, and by shortening the distance that flashbang goes, that reduces the amount of time it has to travel, and therefore makes it more predictable in terms of, you know, you can time it more easily, and you know, therefore you're more likely to hit it.
Doctor.
Yes, Lucio.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
Could you have done something better there?
Yes, Lucio.
No, I think what you did was fine. Well, one thing to consider.
Yes.
Okay, so one thing to consider is that you hit him, and actually, even if you didn't, he knows that you saw him because you can hear the gunshot sounds and the footsteps probably. So consider this: because you just hit him, he's either going to do two things. Probably. He's going to turn around immediately and start shooting you, or he's going to Wraith form. It's almost completely unlikely at this level he's just going to like try to walk away from you and just run away, right? Like in this little corridor here, he doesn't, like, you know, when he goes up those stairs, he doesn't really have anywhere to run. You're almost certainly going to kill him. So he's either going to turn and fight or Wraith form. So because of that, if you were going to flashbang, I would have liked to see you do it like now onto these stairs. Instead, you kind of hold on to it for a while and then go for again, like we talked about earlier, you go for that long range flashbang. Almost always the flashbangs, you know, angle down and to the left, to the right, or like in the sky against Genjis. Those are much more reliable. Less airtime. You want the less airtime. So, yeah, so if you turn around and kill to duel you, then the flashbang that I mentioned earlier, if you just kind of do it after you shot him twice, like, you know, around this time period, somewhere around here, on the stairs, then you win that fight because you can just right click him. And if he Wraith form, you actually might catch him before he Wraith forms. And then if you don't catch him, then fine, he gets away, and then there's the same situation.
Yeah.
I like the respect though that you did to combat roll away.
Yes.
I need healing.
Cool. Good. High ground. I want you on the high ground. Oh, are you going for high ground? No, you're not going for ground. Okay, fine. See, again, your team... No, see, your team, I don't like what they're doing. They're playing choke like this. This is not... If you were running... Well... Okay, fine. Actually, no, this is fine. It's fine. What's your comp? You got the Junkrat and what else? Roadhog.
Should recount.
Okay. This is... Okay, I'm going to assume this fight goes badly. And this is why I was saying that I don't like you to hold up on that choke. Let's play this out.
Fucking annoying piece of shit.
Well, to be fair, they burned a ton of ultimates, so it's actually not that bad. Okay, now let's go back to why I kind of was a little bit antsy about this. Your position right now is pretty good. I would like you to be on the high ground. Probably not on this building. Probably not. Probably the other one, the one behind you. There's also that bridge. So actually, that bridge is perfect because then you can decide to go forward or back. So yeah, so the bridge would be nice. Somewhere around the bridge. What I definitely don't want is for you to be like up here because you like, you know, either on this floor or like on the building. Both are bad. You're susceptible to a dive. Okay. This thing that happened just now is exactly why I did not want you up here. Now, and the reason is simple. Is because you can get dove, right? Like that's it. Like the distance your enemies have to travel to kind of to start fighting you is really, you specifically as the McCree, is very short. And that's kind of the problem, is they can get rid of one of their biggest threats very easily. Now, the reason I thought it was actually okay was because you had a Junkrat, and you also had a Roadhog. So you would then think, okay, there's lots of pressure coming out from them, and they can then bully your opponents from coming into the choke. So, but to be fair, well, okay, let's play this out. Were they just not? See, actually, that's kind of silly. In my opinion, it looks like your Junkrat was going for like this, the big choke to the left over here. He should have been spamming the heck out of this door instead. So he kind of wasn't fulfilling his part of the bargain. Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to blame your teammates, but it puts you as the McCree in a really crappy situation because it's like, well, do I go and with my team and fight at the choke? Same thing happened earlier, right? On point A, when the Widow just kills you. And that was a little bit your fault too. But again, it puts you, McCree, in a really crappy situation where it's like, okay, well, do I just get shat on and stay with my team? Or do I stay so far back where, because you know, in solo queue, if you're back here somewhere and you're waiting for like the fight to come here, your dummy teammates are just gonna go around the corner YOLO and die and be like, what the heck, McCree? Why didn't you come with us, right? So I can understand your pain. Now, what do you do about this? Well, it's solo queue, so you just kind of have to take it on the chin and hope for the best. Nothing really. Like, I would have liked you to stay here, and I think that would have been fine. I think that's slightly better. Similar to point A when I talked about Cafe, I think generally that's better for McCree. I think you're much more likely to win games consistently that way, because you will occasionally get the dumb teammates who YOLO in and they die, but guess what? You're probably going to lose those games anyways. So instead, secure the wins with the teammates that are smart, and maybe these teammates are, who knows what would have happened. Maybe they would have intelligently backpedaled while they absorbed pressure, and then boom, then you can, from a safe distance, from like roughly this area, or like we talked about on the high ground, start putting in left clicks and dead eyes, and then the fight is much more likely to go in your favor or to be split, whereas in this case, you guys just got slaughtered. But thankfully, your opponents had to invest a lot of ultimates into that, so that was nice. Yeah, so the takeaway here with all this ranting is, as McCree, you kind of want to be at like the medium distance away from your teammates. You don't want to be so close to all of your teammates and bunched up in a ball like this. I hate teams that bunch up. It's just not smart, and this is kind of why. Yeah, the bunching is bad, and you're just so close to the choke. There was that instance earlier when you were like in this area, right? Like you were kind of jumping over that haystack, and you had the Reinhardt shield like right here. That was pretty decent because there's still this distance here between the choke and you here, so that's pretty solid. In this case, Reinhardt's all the way at the choke, and you being behind a shield in that case, again, as we just saw, not so great. So I like you here. I think this fight goes better if you're here, or again, like we talked about on the high ground. Okay, enough about that. I'm done ranting. I think I need to cut this VOD at this point. I've been going on for a while now. Yeah, so I don't even know what I said. Yeah, sorry. This is my 4th or 5th VOD review today, so I'm kind of fried right now. So yeah, so work on all the things I talked about. Cool. If you like the video, please like it and please subscribe. Thank you.